Yo, listen to me real close. I'm not here to motivate you with hype. I'm not here to play with your time. I'm here because some of you are this close to losing everything you were built to become, and you don't even see it coming. You keep asking, why am I stuck? Why am I not further in life? Why does it feel like I'm grinding but nothing's breaking through? Let me tell you why. Because there are things in your life right now that are working overtime to destroy you, and you're still feeding them. You're still giving them power. You're still protecting what's actually poisoning you. See, nobody wakes up and says, I want to fail. Nobody says, let me ruin my own life. But guess what? It don't matter what you say if your actions are building your destruction step by step. You're either building your future or building your downfall. There is no middle. And the worst part, some of these things that are breaking you down, they're not loud, they're quiet. They smile in your face. They feel normal, but that's what makes them deadly. You don't fight what you don't recognize, and while you're sleeping on it, it's eating you alive. So I need you to lock in. I need you to give me your heart, your ears, your full attention, not for me, but for you. Because what I'm about to break down could be the difference between your breakthrough and your breakdown, between legacy and regret, between dominating life and being destroyed by it. This ain't just a speech. This is a mirror. And when I tell you the 7 things that can destroy you, it ain't theory. It's what I've lived. It's what I've watched destroy good people, smart people, hungry people who just didn't know what was pulling them down until it was too late. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't leave. You owe it to your future to listen to this whole thing. You owe it to the next version of you, the one that's trying to rise up, to hear every word. Let's go, let's expose these 7 killers, because once you see them, they can't hide anymore. Let me break it down for you right now. One of the fastest, most silent, most vicious ways to destroy yourself is by neglecting self-discipline. I'm not talking about skipping a workout or eating a donut. No, I'm talking about the core of who you are. I'm talking about waking up every day knowing what you should do, still choosing not to do it. That's the kind of thing that will rip you apart from the inside out. You keep wondering why you're stuck in the same place year after year, why you're always 2 steps behind the life you know you're supposed to be living. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you don't have potential. It's because you keep choosing comfort over commitment. You keep choosing feelings over focus. And let me tell you something, your feelings are not loyal. Your feelings don't care about your goals. Your feelings don't care about your future. Your feelings will tell you to sleep in when you need to get up. Your feelings will tell you to quit when you should fight. And if you keep letting your emotions run the show, you're going to find yourself watching life from the sidelines instead of winning on the field. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You think successful people feel like showing up every day? No, they show up because they decided. Discipline means making a promise to yourself and keeping it when nobody's watching, when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's not paying off right away. That's what separates winners from wishes. Some of you out here got talent, but talent without discipline is wasted. I've seen it too many times. People with the gift, people with the heart, people with the vision, but no discipline. They can start, but they can't sustain. They talk big, but they fold under pressure. They say they want it, but they won't put the phone down. They won't wake up on time. They won't cut the habits that are killing their momentum. And every day they delay, they don't realize the clock is ticking. Time don't wait for you to feel ready. Success don't wait for you to feel motivated. And listen, it's not always about the big moments. Destruction doesn't always come from an explosion. Sometimes it comes from erosion. Little by little, one skip task, one more excuse, one more I'll do it tomorrow. You're not getting weaker because you can't do it. You're getting weaker because you're choosing not to. That's self-destruction in slow motion. You won't even notice it until one day you wake up and your dreams feel out of reach. Your mind will lie to you and say it's too late, but it's not too late. You just got lazy. You got soft. You stopped demanding more from yourself. I know it hurts. I know life throws stuff at you that makes you want to stay down. But discipline doesn't care about what happened to you. Discipline don't care about your trauma, your heartbreak, your pain. It respects your grind. It respects your sacrifice. And if you want real change, you have to stop giving your pain a pass and start giving your purpose some power. You can't negotiate with greatness. You can't halfway this thing. Either you master your habits or your habits will master you. Either you discipline your mind or your mind will distract you. And let me tell you something personal. I'd rather cry in discipline than drown in regret. I'd rather feel pain doing what I was called to do than feel peace living a life I know is beneath me. And I get it. People around you might not get it. They might say you're doing too much. They might laugh when you choose discipline over distraction. But let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because one day, when they're still stuck in the same cycle, still complaining about the same problems, you'll be walking in what they only dreamed of. Not because you were lucky, not because you had help, because you refused to be average, because you chose discipline over destruction. See, here's the truth. Discipline ain't just a routine. It's a mindset. It's a muscle. It's a war against the part of you that wants to quit. And if you don't win that war daily, then little by little you lose pieces of yourself, pieces of your confidence, pieces of your calling, pieces of your future, until you wake up and realize you became your own enemy. So if you hear me today, I'm begging you, don't wait for a tragedy to teach you this. Don't wait for the breakdown. Don't wait until you lose everything to realize you had the power to change. Start now, today. Make one disciplined choice, then make another. Stack them. Build on them. And I promise discipline won't just save you. It'll transform you. Let me talk to you for real right now. You might be doing everything right. You might be grinding. You might be waking up early, working hard, staying focused. But if you're still surrounded by the wrong people, you are in danger. I'm not talking about drama. I'm not talking about haters. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about influence. Because who you walk with, who you roll with, who you allow into your circle, that will either push you to your purpose or pull you into your destruction. You don't even realize it, but some of the people closest to you are slowly draining the life out of your future. They're not attacking you. They're not hurting you out loud. They're just distracting you, detouring you, and dulling your drive. You keep trying to level up, but they're anchoring you to the same old mindset, the same habits, the same excuses. Every time you try to rise, here they come with the same jokes, the same negativity, the same fear-based living. And you think it's not that deep. You think it's just your people. But listen, destruction doesn't always come through enemies. Sometimes it comes through people who love you, but don't understand the version of you that's trying to evolve. Some of y'all are so loyal to the past that you're blocking your future. You're trying to be successful, but you're still keeping company with people who are okay with being average. You're trying to build legacy, but your circle is still talking about gossip. Still wasting time, still living for the weekend. Let me tell you something. Iron sharpens iron. If you're always the sharpest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If nobody around you challenges you, stretches you, calls you out, that's not a circle, that's a cage. You keep wondering why your vision feels heavy, why it's so hard to stay consistent, why your progress is slow. It's because you're trying to grow in soil that's not meant to support your roots anymore. Just because you started with them doesn't mean you're supposed to finish with them. Some people are seasonal. Some were only meant to walk a mile with you, and that's okay. But if you force them to come where they weren't built to go, they will destroy the very thing you're trying to build. You've got to stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people who chose to stay the same. And I know what you're thinking, but they've always been there for me. We go way back. Let me tell you something. History doesn't equal destiny. Just because you shared a chapter doesn't mean they belong in the whole book. You're not being disloyal by growing. You're not fake for protecting your peace. You're not wrong for choosing alignment over attachment. Real love celebrates growth. Real connection respects boundaries. But if they're always pulling you back, if they're uncomfortable with your elevation, if they only show up when you shrink, then that's not love. That's control. Some of you have dreams so big, so real, but you're still explaining them to people who don't even believe in themselves. You're trying to get approval from people who've never stepped outside their comfort zone. You're looking for support from folks who are scared of your boldness because it exposes their complacency. That's why they don't clap when you win. That's why they downplay your progress. It's not you, it's their reflection. But here's the truth. You can't build greatness on shaky foundations. You can't put your dreams in the hands of people who don't value discipline, who don't chase purpose, who live for comfort instead of calling. You've got to check the spirit of the people around you. Do they speak life, or do they feed your doubts? Do they hold you accountable, or do they entertain your excuses? Are they growing, or are they just watching you grow and hoping you fall? And I'm not saying cut people off just to be cold. I'm saying protect your destiny. I'm saying love them from a distance if you have to. I'm saying elevate your standards, not just for yourself, but for your environment. Because your dream is too important to gamble with. Your calling is too real to play small just to keep other people comfortable. Don't let small minds convince you to shrink. Don't let familiar voices keep you in familiar places. Listen, success is lonely not because people don't like you, but because most people aren't willing to do what success requires. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to discipline their life. They don't want to walk away from distractions. So when you do, it makes them uncomfortable. But let them be uncomfortable. Let them watch from the sidelines. Because you got places to go, levels to reach, and a legacy to build that can't be watered down to keep the peace. So if you got people in your life who are draining you, who are discouraging you, who are stuck and want you stuck with them, it's time. Not with hate, not with drama, but with clarity, with love, with firm boundaries. Because when you finally start walking with the right people, people who speak fire into your vision, who challenge your grind, who remind you who you are when you forget, you'll realize just how powerful you really are. Some of y'all don't even know what you're capable of yet simply because you've been walking with people who never saw it in you. You want to stop the destruction? Start by fixing your circle. Because when you change your people, you change your life. Let me tell you something that might hurt, but it's the truth. If you don't know why you're here, if you're waking up every day without a sense of direction, without something pulling you forward, then you're not living. You're just existing. You're just moving through the motions. And that right there, that aimless, wandering, reaction-based life, that will destroy you before anything else does. See, people think destruction always looks like some big explosion. They think it's the bankruptcy, the heartbreak, the breakdown, the scandal. Nah, real destruction starts in the small things. It starts when you stop asking yourself why. It starts when you stop dreaming, when you start waking up and just doing what the world expects from you instead of doing what you were born to do. And that's the danger. When you live without a purpose, you start accepting anything. You start falling for everything. Life throws you a distraction and you follow it. Someone tells you what you should be and you believe them. You keep switching directions, keep quitting on things halfway through, not because you're weak, but because you never took time to figure out your why. You think life is just about surviving the week, just getting to Friday, just paying the bills, just staying out of trouble? That's not living, that's not purpose. That's settling, that's drifting. And when you drift long enough, you start losing pieces of yourself. You lose your fire, you lose your confidence, you lose your identity. And here's the most dangerous part. The world will reward you for it. They'll tell you you're responsible. They'll tell you you're doing the right thing. They'll say, look how stable he is. Look how quiet she stays. But deep down, you know you're not okay. You feel it. You feel that ache, that restlessness, that feeling that you were made for something more, but you can't quite name it. Purpose doesn't come to you by accident. You got to go after it. You got to shut the noise out. You got to stop chasing what everyone else is doing and start listening to your own voice. You were born with something unique, something powerful, something the world needs. But you won't find it trying to fit in. You won't discover it copying someone else's blueprint. You've got to go deep. You've got to ask the hard questions. Why am I here? What burns in me when no one's watching? What makes me come alive, even when I'm tired? Because when you find that, when you lock in on that purpose, everything changes. Your pain starts to make sense. Your setbacks stop feeling like failure and start looking like training. Your mornings start to matter. You stop snoozing the alarm. You stop wasting hours scrolling, binging, procrastinating, not because you got stronger overnight, but because you finally saw the destination. When you know where you're going, you stop getting distracted by everything. That's how purpose works. It filters your life. It tells you what to say yes to and what to walk away from. But if you don't have purpose, then pain will destroy you. Every obstacle will feel like the end. Every delay will feel like rejection. Every failure will make you question your worth. You'll stay in places you were never meant to stay. You'll chase people who don't even see your value. You'll bury your gift just to blend in. And years will go by and you'll look back and say, how did I get here? And the answer will be simple. You never knew where you were going in the first place. That's why you have to stop playing with time. Stop letting life just happen to you. Wake up and build your life. Write it, speak it, walk it. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying everybody's going to understand. Some people are going to tell you to tone it down, to be more realistic. But realistic never changed the world. Realistic never left a legacy. You've got to have the courage to be misunderstood in the short term so you can be unforgettable in the long term. And look, I'm not telling you to have every detail figured out. Purpose isn't always a perfectly mapped out plan. Sometimes it's a pull, a feeling, a direction. And that's enough to start. You don't need the whole road. You just need to take the next step. Show up, be consistent, say no to what doesn't align, say yes to the growth, the challenge, the stretch, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, because purpose lives in discomfort. Purpose grows in the struggle. And the moment you stop running from it, the moment you start chasing it, that's when you start to really live. So ask yourself right now, am I waking up with direction or am I just drifting? Am I moving with purpose or am I just busy? Am I chasing something real or am I just chasing noise? Because if you don't answer those questions, life will answer them for you. And trust me, you want to live a life designed by fear, by doubt, by other people's expectations. That's not life. That's a slow death. You were created with intention, with assignment, with power. And if you don't walk in it, you're not just wasting time, you're risking everything. You know what's wild? One of the most dangerous things in your life might not be what's around you. It might be what's inside of you. I'm talking about fear, and not just fear like the kind that makes you jump when you hear a loud noise. I'm talking about that deep fear, that quiet fear, the fear that whispers to you when nobody's watching, the fear that creeps in at 2 a.m. when your dreams feel too big and your confidence feels too small, the fear that convinces you to settle. That fear right there will destroy you if you don't face it head on. See, the problem isn't that fear shows up, because fear is natural. Everybody feels it. I feel it. You feel it. That's human. The problem is when fear starts making decisions for you. When you let fear drive, when you let fear set the limits, when you start shrinking your vision to fit your insecurity, now you're building your life around what you're scared of instead of what you're called to. And that right there, that will keep you in the same place for years. Fear will put your potential in a prison. And what's worse, you'll be the one holding the key. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, that's fear. Every time you say, I'm not ready yet, fear. Every time you say, what if I fail? What will people say? What if I'm not good enough? Fear, fear, fear. And here's the thing, fear doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes it disguises itself as logic. Sometimes it sounds reasonable. It'll tell you, let's play it safe. Let's stay comfortable. Let's wait until everything is perfect. But let me ask you, when has fear ever brought you peace? When has fear ever helped you grow? Fear might keep you safe, but it will never help you soar. And I get it. I know what it feels like to have something burning in your chest, something you know you're meant to do. But the moment you think about stepping out, your heart races, your hands shake, your mind floods with doubt. That's real. But just because something feels real doesn't mean it's true. Fear will lie to you. Fear will tell you you're not ready. Fear will show you every reason why it won't work, but it won't show you the cost of staying stuck. It won't show you the pain of regret. It won't show you what you're giving up every time you choose comfort over courage. You want to know the truth? You don't conquer fear by waiting for it to disappear. You conquer fear by moving anyway. You step up, you take the shot, you write the book, you start the business, you have the conversation, you walk in the room even when your knees are shaking. That's how you kill fear, not by avoiding it, but by confronting it. You don't need to be fearless to win. You just need to stop letting fear make your choices. You think the people you look up to don't feel fear? Of course they do. The difference is they do it anyway. They feel the fear and still move, still build, still speak, still lead. Because the mission is bigger than the emotion. Because the vision is louder than the doubt. Because they understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in spite of it. And if you're ever going to become the version of you that you were created to be, you're going to have to get real comfortable doing things scared. And listen, fear won't just stop you from stepping out. It'll talk you out of what you already built. Some of you started the journey, but then fear crept in. You launched the vision, then fear whispered, what if it fails? You stepped into purpose, then fear said, you're not qualified. And so you started playing small again, started doubting yourself again, started looking for permission when you already had the promise. Let me be clear. Fear doesn't go away when you back down. It grows. It feeds on hesitation. Every time you surrender to fear, it gets stronger. But every time you step through it, you get stronger. And this ain't just about dreams and goals. Fear will destroy your relationships too. It'll stop you from being vulnerable, stop you from telling the truth, stop you from asking for help, stop you from loving fully because you're afraid of being hurt again. It'll make you guard your heart so tight that nothing can get in, not even healing. Fear will make you sabotage the very blessings you prayed for. But here's the thing, fear is only as powerful as the belief you give it. Once you realize that fear is just a story you keep telling yourself, once you start choosing truth over lies, once you decide that your purpose is worth the risk, then everything starts to change. You don't wait for fear to leave, you rise above it. You take that first step even when your voice shakes. You do the thing that scares you and watch what happens when courage becomes your new default. Because on the other side of fear is everything you want. On the other side of fear is growth, healing, power, purpose, joy, freedom. And the only way to get to it is to walk through the storm. Not around it, not under it, straight through. And if you can do that, not once, but over and over, then fear can never destroy you again. It might show up, but it won't have the final word. You will. And your word will sound like action, like movement, like purpose, like victory. So I'm telling you right now, don't let fear write your story. Don't let it keep you quiet. Don't let it hold your gifts hostage. You were built for more than survival. You were made to move mountains. But you'll never climb anything if you keep waiting to feel ready. The time is now. The risk is worth it. And fear has no place in the life you're about to build.